MSW Media.
So yeah, now it's clean up on aisle 45 time. And for a long while yet, it is going to be clean up on aisle 45.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 244 of Clean Up on Aisle 5. Clean Up on Aisle 45. There's too many 40s and 4s in today's intro. It's Wednesday, September 24th, 2025. I'm Allison Gill.
Hey, G, what's up? Harry Dunn here. And speaking of 24, I got to tell everybody the 24th, tomorrow, the 25th is my birthday. So we are on, y'all are listening on the eve of my birthday. And now that I've got this, after I get this recorded, I can slur my words because I'm going to have a couple of bourbons. And
Libra Dunn.
So, all right. Yes. Episode 244. We got a lot to cover today, including Donald Trump forcing the resignation of U.S. Attorney in the Eastern District of Virginia because what? He wouldn't indict the New York Attorney General, Leticia James, for mortgage fraud. Plus, another January 6th rioter is suing the Department of Justice. What else is new?
This one's a real interesting one. We're going to save it for the D block with Rudy because it's interesting.
Did you just say Rudy?
I said Rudy. We have Rudy news to report.
All right.
Also today, there's no proof that Federal Reserve Board Governor Lisa Cook committed mortgage fraud in Michigan. Now, we already saw the documents from Atlanta showing that she did not mark her second home there as a primary residence. Now we have no evidence in Michigan either. Plus some, like I said, weird Rudy news. But first, we want to shout out some of our Hall of Fame patrons. So big, huge shout out to Joan Qualls, January 20 Baby, Kimberly D. Stephen, Tiffany Trump Was Adopted, Clover's Tree 73, skintwalletusa.com, Steve Towell, Lynn Bentley, Mr. Halfspeed, and of course, David in Brooklyn, who always joins us on our happy hour call Q&A extravaganzas. That one is going to be this Friday, September 20, whatever. What is that? The 7th to September 27th?
Let's go with that. Sure. Or 26, I think. 26.
Whatever, this Friday, 2 days from now.
Whatever. Friday.
And it's at 4 p.m. Pacific and 7 p.m. Eastern. If you're a patron, you get to join us on our Zoom happy hour call and ask us questions and hang out and chat. And maybe I'll open some mail. I get a lot of mail from our amazing listeners. So we'll do all that this Friday. And if you want to become a patron, you can do that too. Patreon.com/aisle45pod, AISLE 45POD, and support independent media.
Please do.
You have a new episode out of Pores and Perspectives. Is that what it's called?
Pores and Perspectives with Harry Dunn.
Yes, it's so good, dude.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And like I said, you inspired me to do it, obviously, with you hopping on camera and but just talking about everything that's going on, AG. We cannot have enough independent media people who actually believe in getting into this fight right now and speaking truth. People that have platforms, and you know what? Even if your platform is 10 people, even if it's 10 million people, I believe that everybody has a responsibility to talk about the things that are going on and how they affect all of us. So, you know, I am encouraged to do something, inspired to do something. And shout out to you for doing it. I mean, I can do 2 shows if you can do 20. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but not by much, right?
No, not by much. But thank you. I'm glad that, you grabbing another microphone and putting out more of your lived experience out there in the world. We have to democratize the media. It should be for the people and by the people. And I think that's what we're aiming to do. So thank you to everyone who supports independent media. Just listening to these shows is a huge help. So I wanted to talk about Kimmel. Did you cancel your Disney subscription?
You know what, AG? I have it on, obviously like most people had it on auto pay, and I had just my subscription just renewed like 8 days ago or something like that. So I am trying to find the alternative to it. I plan on, I'm not paying them another month. So let's be clear about that. But I don't know what the alternative is. I love watching Marvel movies like all the time. I could sit there and watch, the Avengers, Age of Ultron 5 times in a month, and I'm like not missing a beat. But I'm working on finding the alternatives right
Maybe you
now.
can buy them on Apple or something.
You know what? I would absolutely. But I'm also like, is he one of the tech? You know who I really want to support is PBS in this time. And I would encourage people that are canceling their subscriptions, donate that $20 a month or whatever it is to people or independent media like ourselves. You know, we got to continue to support people that actually believe in standing up for what's right. But in short, no, I haven't canceled it. They will not get another month's payment out of me. I'm just trying to figure out what the alternative is right now.
Yeah. And the news is just breaking as we're recording this Monday that Disney is going to put Kimmel back on the air Tuesday, tomorrow, which is yesterday, as you're listening to this podcast, thanks to the marvels of time travel and podcasting.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to wait to see if there's any conditions that come along with this. If maybe that the dude from Nexstar or Sinclair still preempt his show on their affiliates, ABC affiliates. And I just got a text saying that Disney told Jimmy Kimmel they'd bring him back if he toned down his anti-Trump rhetoric. So I don't see it's Brian Tyler Cohen who's got pretty good sourcing, and so I'm still looking for the source to that. So I don't want to say it definitively, but that's why in the last 20 minutes I was like, you know what, I'm going to wait and see. But
also at the same time, AG, just them bringing him back is not enough. You canceling him was enough. Mm-hmm. That was it for me. Like, it's not like, oh, okay, everything's well within the world right now, because I feel like that's what dictators, authoritarian people do. They oppress you, they throw you a bone, and then you grow to love them again. And then they keep on oppressing the stuff out of you. Sorry, we're not on the bonus yet. So, but no, but I don't think it's enough. Like I said, I'm still canceling my subscription. This is not enough, because you showed your true colors when you did not stand with your talent, with the talented Jimmy Kimmel.
Right. And though I will say it was Nexstar, and they're going to merge with Trina. That's a $6 billion thing. And Sinclair, who said they'll preempt it. And then ABC, who said they'll pull it. And now Disney never weighed in, I think, one way or another.
Yeah.
They own ABC. And now I think Skydance and Paramount want to merge with Warner. It's like this, it's all just going to be owned by Rupert Murdoch in the end or something. Like it's just, it's like everything is, these corporate media conglomerates are consolidating and consolidating and consolidating. The fact that one guy was allowed to own enough ABC affiliates to preempt Kimmel's show enough so that ABC would pull it entirely should be illegal. But, it doesn't go over the 39% FCC rule or whatever. But, Brendan Carr can do what he wants. He's changed his tune quite a bit since in 2019. He was like, free speech is important. Political satire is great. President Biden is right. Only authoritarians go after free speech, and here he is doing it. But
when you were talking about how these two people are this conglomerate, they're turning into this one-stop shop, I guess. Like you joked, Rupert Murdoch's going to own everything, right? But isn't that what they meaning people that believe in authoritarianism, isn't that what they want? They want to just be able to go to the one person, and that's it. I just got to get one person in line, and that's what they want, and we can't let that happen.
That's what Putin does with his oligarchs. I only got 6 guys. I gotta blackmail or whatever.
Toss out a window.
That 4th floor window cancer that's been going around
that's
in
been
Russia.
going around out there.
Anyway, so I'm still gonna wait and see. I'm looking for confirmation on what Brian Tyler Cohen posted. I'm sure it's out there. Again, I do trust him. I don't think he puts out hyperbole or anything.
No, Brian's great.
I don't think he would say that without having seen it somewhere sourced. He didn't share the source in his post. But I am looking for that. And when I find it, we'll talk about that. And then we have a Watergate level fucking.
This is insane.
Donald Trump post about Pam Bondi. And we'll get to that in a second. Excuse me, I said the F word on the public episode. Sorry. And that Tipper Gore is going to come after us. And then
That's a name I haven't heard in a while. Tipper Gore.
explicit lyrics. Boy, what a bunch of free advertising that was for bands and musicians
It
back
sure
in the
was.
day. If you had explicit lyrics on your thing, I was like, well, I need that. I need that tape.
Give me that label.
In my cassette collection. But we also have Tom Homan, the border czar, taking $50,000 in bills in a bag, a kava bag.
On tape,
audio tape from undercover FBI officials.
Unbelievable.
To give government contracts when he would get a job.
Yeah, so apparently, in people that are, vaguely familiar with it, this happened in 2024 on September 20. This is from MSNBC. On September 20th, 2024, with hidden cameras recording the scene at a meeting spot in Texas, Homan accepted $50,000 in bills, according to an internal summary of the case and its sources. Now, one thing that sticks out is the time frame of this. September 2024. Who was the president? Joe Biden. Who was in charge of the FBI? Whose FBI was it? So it wasn't Donald Trump's FBI now. And then Carolyn Levitt comes out on TV on Monday, and she said this is a deep state operation to smear a great patriot. And can we really expect the FBI to investigate one of their own? She said that the investigation is done and that Tom Homan did no wrongdoing and he is a patriot. So case closed, drop it. Unbelievable.
Well, release the tapes.
Release the tapes, release the files, all that stuff.
Release that missing minute of the Epstein shit.
Release the Kraken.
Release something.
Release
Just
every
release something.
Release something, Bring back the McRib. Something.
Bring back the McRib. Release the McRib. Release the bats. Release them now.
Oh, man.
But yeah, that $50,000 bribe, that's what Spiro Agnew did, Harry. That's what Spiro Agnew did. And that he resigned over it as vice president to Nixon. And that's the level that we're talking about. It's no longer a scandal. It was everything back in the 70s. And now it's a Tuesday.
It's accepted now. Yeah, it's like it's a Tuesday.
Yeah, it just comes right before the rapture, which was supposed to happen yesterday. So congrats if you're listening to this.
You made it through.
You were left behind.
Well, yeah, you didn't make it through.
You get a bunch of free cars and free shoes. Good for you for making it through the rapture.
You made it.
Yeah. Now, so this is the new bag man, right? My episode was Papa's got a brand new bag man. But then there was that weird Truth Social post that was supposed to be a DM to Pam Bondi about the U.S. attorney in the Eastern District of Virginia. Right? Saying you got to do it now. You got to bring charges now. That would be the equivalent of Nixon posting the Nixon tapes on social media. It is nuts that these are just tiny blips and not career-ending scandals.
Yeah. I don't even know if it's a blip. Speaking of bags real quick, let me backtrack real quick. Didn't Eric Adams staffer the bag of chips? What is up with them with bags?
That was a journalist.
The journalist, but the staffer offered them the journalist
the journalist offered the staffer
in a bag of chips, wasn't it, or something? Like corruption listen, if you see bags, just walk away from them. Bags are bad nowadays.
There's going to be a lot of good Halloween costumes this year.
I'm just walking around in a bag,
I'm telling you. If you go next rally you go to, like if you go to protest Fox News or protest Tom Homan or something, just bring a bag with a bunch of fake cash in it.
That's it. And you'll fit right in. You might get a position in the administration.
Where's the slot that you drop the bags of cash? Can you point me to that? But anyway, it's just nuts that these aren't massive, massive scandals. But speaking of that U.S. attorney in the Eastern District of Virginia, Eric Siebert, he was forced to resign over not indicting some certain people. And we're going to talk about that in depth right after this quick break. We're going to take a quick break. So everybody stick around. We'll be right back. All right, so you know those nights where you cannot settle down, your mind will not stop racing. I know it's been happening a lot lately, and the next day you feel like you're moving through a fog. Well, that is when CBD from CB Distillery makes a real difference. But it's not just about sleep. Their products also support stress relief, recovery after exercise, even sharper focus throughout the day. And all of it is made with the highest quality clean ingredients, no fillers, no nonsense, just premium CBD. That is why more than 2 million people trust CB Distillery. So I want to thank CB Distillery for sponsoring this episode. You can get 25% off your entire purchase at cbdistillery.com using the promo code CLEANUP. So if you're ready for better sleep, less stress, and feeling good in your own skin again, try CBD from CB Distillery. Personally, I have really connected with their relief stick. After long work days or heavy workouts, that targeted balm is exactly what I need. The cooling sensation hits right away, and within minutes, the tension in my shoulders and back just melts away. I used to rotate through over-the-counter creams that never really lasted and smelled weird, but this one has become a staple in my routine. It helps me wake up less stiff and actually enjoy recovery days. I keep one in my nightstand, one in my gym bag. So CB Distillery has become a brand I genuinely recommend, whether it's stress, exercise, aches, or just needing to feel a bit more grounded. Their solutions work with your body in a natural and reliable way. And right now, you can save 25% off your entire purchase. Just visit cbdistillery.com and use promo code CLEANUP. That's cbdistillery.com, promo code CLEANUP. One more time, cbdistillery.com and the promo code CLEANUP. Specific product availability depends on individual state regulations.
All right, everybody, welcome back. All right, now you might have noticed a pattern lately where the king of mortgage fraud himself, Donald, sends Bill Pulte out to investigate his political enemies for mortgage fraud. Adam Schiff, Federal Reserve Board Governor Lisa Cook, who we'll get to in a minute, and the New York Attorney General, who squeezed Trump for $450 million over his mortgage fraud. This week, the head prosecutor in the Eastern District of Virginia was forced to resign because he refused to bring the Tish James mortgage fraud case to a federal jury.
Interesting. Lindsay Halligan, by the way, has been hired, appointed, shoved in, forced in to replace Siebert. She's a White House aide and a fierce ally of Trump. She's taken over that top spot, and that's according to a person familiar with the change. Halligan assumed the office days after her predecessor, Eric Siebert, was pushed out of the job amid political pressure to indict one of Trump's political enemies, Tish James. Siebert was also overseeing the investigation into whether former FBI Director Jim Comey lied in testimony before Congress 4 years and 361 days ago.
361 days ago. Halligan's appointment puts another of Trump's personal attorneys in a position of legal power. Scary. Running an office that has been tasked to spearhead high-profile investigations that the president has publicly demanded action in. The Eastern District of Virginia faced a push from the White House under Siebert to bring charges against James, despite a conclusion that a 5-month investigation into whether the New York Attorney General committed mortgage fraud had not yet yielded enough evidence to indict her.
Yeah, and when I was talking to Joyce Vance one time about all of these federal grand juries refusing to indict ham sandwiches, I asked her what her record was for getting an indictment from a grand jury, and she's like, the 8 years I was a federal prosecutor, my record was 100% returning an indictment from a grand jury. And she told this little story about how if they had a case file that had like really shitty evidence, they would hold it and open and close the file and go, arr, 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 like it's barking. It's all bark, no bite. And so I guess that was a thing that federal prosecutors do. If you're a federal prosecutor and you've done that, I would love to hear about it. So Halligan was one of Trump's close legal advisors in recent years, but has no experience as a prosecutor, never prosecuted in a trial. She worked as one of his attorneys during his initial investigation into whether Trump was illegally keeping classified documents in his Mar-a-Lago estate. Trump praised her for her work in a social media post announcing her appointment, saying, "She represented me and won in a disgraceful Democrat documents hoax." She did not win. She lost the special master part of the documents case. She's the one who filed that they needed a special master under Rule 53 something, saying those are the things I stole are mine and I want them back, right? And so the court was like, nah, bro. Even this court was like, you can't come to us with unclean hands. You can't get equitable jurisdiction for inequitable acts. Is
Perfect.
basically how that boiled down. But she lost that, and it was pretty embarrassing.
The White House had placed Maggie Cleary, a conservative lawyer who has said she was falsely accused of being at the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021, in charge of the office over the weekend until Halligan could be sworn in. Seibert, the former U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, informed employees at his office in Alexandria of his decision to resign in an email that was obtained by ABC News. Trump officials had pushed Seibert to bring charges against James, despite investigators failing to find clear evidence that she committed a crime, sources said. All bark, no bite, right? It looks to me she is very guilty of something, but I really don't know, Trump told reporters at the Oval on Friday.
He said she looks guilty. Looks to me like she's very guilty. She looks guilty. I wonder what it is about her. Makes her look guilty. But
well, it's a her, right? First of all.
Yeah. Hey, Exhibit A in a vindictive and selective prosecution case. The president saying she just looks guilty. Just look at her.
Well, at least he used her pronouns. She.
There you go. Quote, he didn't quit. I fired him. That's what Trump said on Truth Social. Now, Cleary, who was just replaced by Halligan, told staff she planned to be in the office at the Alexandria branch last Monday and would work most days out of that office, and closed her message by thanking Seibert for his many years of service to the district and to the country. In May, Cleary wrote an article for The Spectator titled, I was framed over January 6th. Now I planned to end politically weaponized investigations. The article recounts Cleary's experience being interviewed by DOJ officials in 2021 after she said she was falsely identified as having participated in the January 6th riot at the Capitol.
Sure, Jan. The investigation into James began in April when Bill Pulte, the director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, sent the Department of Justice a criminal referral alleging that James falsified records related to her 2023 purchase of a home in Virginia. After investigating the allegations for 5 months and interviewing 15 witnesses, investigators were unable to find clear evidence that James knowingly falsified records to obtain better loan terms, ABC News first reported earlier this week.
Now, regarding Jim Comey, Ben Wittes wrote for Lawfare, quote, for present purposes, only 3 facts are relevant and important. First, the president is replacing Eric Seibert as acting U.S. attorney because Seibert determined there is no case to bring against Comey or James. Second, President Trump, by whatever means, has determined that, quote, they're all guilty as hell, and, quote, there is a great case to bring against them. And third, Trump's in a rush. Quote, we can't delay any longer. Justice must be served now. Comey's testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee took place on September 30th, 2020. In other words, 6 days from today. 4 days, 6 days, something.
Yeah.
It's very soon. I guess this comes out on the 24th, so 6 days from today. Any ability to charge Comey for any alleged false statement he may have made at that hearing will lapse. Once October arrives, any possibility of prosecuting Comey disappears, barring resort to truly exotic theories under conspiracy law, right? Because if you're part of a conspiracy, it doesn't matter if the thing lapsed, like Manafort with his years and years of tax evasion, or conspiracy wraps you up in other people's crimes that might be more current. But like I said, if you're in the Eastern District of Virginia and you get a jury summons, maybe don't sit this one out. You might end up on a Comey case or a Leticia James case.
Sounds probable, right?
Yeah. So that might be worth your time, since the federal grand jury and trial juries are really one thing that we, the people, directly control.
So let me understand. This is five years of statute of limitations and that's why they're rushing to get something, because they know, which is so weird, because I mean, they just seem like they make up laws as they go along. So, hey, we're extending the statute of limitations. We're going to extend those and as long as it takes. Like I could see him saying some dumb crap like that.
The president has full power to ignore statutes of limitations. Yeah.
Yeah, I dare you, Tell me no, Supreme Court. I dare you.
Yeah. And so I'm waiting to see if there's going to be an indictment of Jim Comey by the 30th of September.
The next couple of days. So
We will
stay tuned.
keep you posted on that. All right. We're going to talk about somebody else Donald Trump has been trying to fire. Also happens to be a Black woman, but he might have a harder time with this. We're going to talk about that after this break. Stick around. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody, welcome back. Let's talk about that other person I'm talking about that Trump has been trying to fire. Her name is Lisa Cook. She's a member of the Federal Reserve Board. Just this past Monday, the Supreme Court used the shadow docket to allow Trump to fire a member of the Federal Trade Commission during the pendency of that litigation. This Supreme Court believes the president has the unchecked authority to fire members of multi-member boards, something usually prevented by a 90-year-old case called Humphrey's Executor. But even this Supreme Court has said that power to fire multi-member board members does not extend to the Federal Reserve Board of Governors. This Supreme Court said as much in a ruling allowing the firing of National Labor Relations Board member Gwynne Wilcox and Merit Systems Protection Board member Kathy Harris. So in order to get rid of Federal Reserve Board members that Trump doesn't like, Trump knows he's going to have to find cause to fire them. That's why he was citing fake numbers about building costs with Fed Reserve Chair Jerome Powell in that viral video where Jerome Powell was like, no, wrong. You're adding an old building that was built 5 years ago. And I think that's why Trump moved his sycophant Inspector General, Mike Horowitz, from the Department of Justice Inspector General's office to the Federal Reserve. And that's why he sicked Bill Pulte on Lisa Cook, accusing her of mortgage fraud.
Yes, but last week, we reported here on this show that Lisa Cook's paperwork for her home in Atlanta showed that she checked the box for vacation home and not primary residence. And now this week, Reuters reported the same thing for her home in Michigan. They report the Property Tax Authority in Ann Arbor, Michigan, said that the Federal Reserve Governor Lisa Cook hasn't broken rules for tax breaks on a home there that Cook declared her primary residence. The finding, which came in response to a Reuters request that the city review Cook's property records, could boast Cook's defense against efforts by the Trump administration to remove her from the Federal Reserve Board.
Doesn't
that's
look interesting.
Good for them, not her. She looks in great shape right now.
It gets worse for Trump. Ann Arbor has, quote, no reason to believe that Cook violated property tax rules. That's City Assessor Jerry Markey speaking to Reuters. Cook has at times lived elsewhere, and city records indicate she sought permission from the Ann Arbor authorities to rent out the Michigan home on a short-term basis. Temporary absence from the home or renting it out on short-term leases doesn't disqualify you from a tax exemption in Ann Arbor. Quote, living elsewhere temporarily does not necessarily make an owner ineligible for a principal residence exemption. The official's remarks come as the administration of Trump is accusing Fed governor of fraud related to mortgages on the Ann Arbor home and other homes, another home she purchased in Atlanta. Bill Pulte, the director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency, has spearheaded the effort, denouncing Cook on social media and referring the matter to the Department of Justice, which launched the investigation you mentioned, Harry.
Yeah. At issue is whether Cook, whom Trump has sought to fire from the Fed board, lied to her lenders when obtaining the two mortgages. The Trump administration, citing her mortgage contracts, has alleged that she improperly told both lenders that the loan was for a primary residence. By declaring a home as a primary residence, a homeowner can, but doesn't always, secure a better interest rate on the loan and separately can receive discounts from local authorities on property taxes.
Yeah, a federal appeals court declined late Monday to allow Trump to fire Cook. The administration is expected to appeal immediately to the Supreme Court, and they did, adding a further complication to her status for the Fed's upcoming two-day gathering. Now, this story was written before the Supreme Court wouldn't take her off, and she was at that meeting, and they lowered interest rates by a quarter of a point. Reuters last week reported that Cook, according to the loan estimate for the mortgage in Atlanta, had informed her lender that the property would be a vacation home, not a primary residence. That's what we talked about last week, Harry. In a social media post after the news agency story, Pulte wrote that a vacation home claim in Atlanta in the mortgage paperwork could still be fraudulent if she eventually secured the loan by declaring otherwise.
Grasping for straws. That is extremely concerning. Sound like Susan Collins, Pulte wrote on X. And in my opinion, evidence is further intent to defraud.
So by putting that it's a vacation home,
that seems like that's evidence for fraud. Unbelievable. Okay. The full extent of Cook's representations to her lenders remains unclear, including any paperwork that may have changed the vacation home characterization by the time the mortgage was settled. Local officials in Georgia told Reuters that Cook never declared the home as a primary residence for tax purposes there. Cook has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing. In a written statement on Monday, her attorney said, the attempt to remove Governor Cook is based on cherry-picked social media posts from the FHFA director that collapse under basic scrutiny. Right. And it appears to, just based on our covering of this story.
Right. Now, since securing a mortgage for her Michigan home in 2021, local property records show she got approval from the city to rent it out on a short-term basis in October of 2022 and again in April of 2024. Some cities, like Ann Arbor, require homeowners to obtain a license to rent out their home, even on a short-term basis. In April 2025, months before Pulte began publicly accusing her of fraud, Cook sought approval to list the home as a long-term rental, according to local records and city officials. In July, she told the city she had enlisted a rental firm to manage her property. So it sounds like she's been on the up and up this whole time. Cook now has until the end of the year to revoke the tax exemption on her home. That's what Markey says. That's the Ann Arbor City tax assessor.
Yeah, the property tax records in both states, along with Cook's vacation home disclosures in Atlanta, could be considered strong factors in her defense. Yeah, you think? Real estate and legal experts have made this statement. For any conviction of mortgage fraud, which is rarely pursued as a criminal offense in the United States, they said prosecutors would have to show she deliberately sought to deceive her lenders. Paul Pelletier, a Washington-based former federal prosecutor who targeted bank fraud, said the Justice Department historically would only pursue cases in which a financial institution suffered significant loss. This would have never crossed my desk, let alone be prosecuted, he said, regarding the accusations against Cook so far.
Right. That's why Tish James did a civil suit against Donald Trump for defrauding millions and millions from
and not
banks.
Criminal, exactly.
And they didn't bring a criminal prosecution against him. So get this:
They
the rates
should've.
yeah, I know. The rates on Cook's two mortgages show that Lisa Cook did not enjoy discounts compared with prevailing rates available to borrowers when she negotiated the loans in 2021. Her rate on the 15-year loan on the Michigan property was 2.875 versus a prevailing national rate ranging from 2.23 to 2.45. It was a little higher. That's according to little Freddie Mac data there. And her rate on the 30-year loan on her Atlanta property, 3.25 points versus a prevailing rate of 2.93 to 3.04. So
are they not even trying to make a good case here? Like, what? They suck.
I mean, Trump could say to the court, look, it seems weird, and that gives me cause to fire her. Like,
just like she said, she looks guilty.
The argument from him is going to be that's cause enough to fire her. It might not be cause enough to bring criminal charges, but it's cause enough to fire her. This weirdness, right?
Yeah.
Even though it didn't happen when she was Federal Reserve Board, and the law clearly states that it has to be something you've screwed up on the job, right? You have to have screwed it up on the job to be fired for cause. Anyway, just ridiculous all around, and we'll keep an eye on it for you. All right, we got two. It's time for the D block. It's the weird block. The D block is the weird block.
The weird block. Things are about to get a little weird here.
We're going to talk about the January 6th rioter who's suing the DOJ for giving him breasts, and we're going to talk about Rudy and his Starbucks cup, but something else too. It's a big surprise. This is a cliffhanger, but you're going to find out about it right after this break. So stick around. We'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome back. 2 weird stories for the Weird D-Block for you today. First, from Law and Crime News, a January 6th rider from Texas who attacked police officers with a metal whip and doused them in bear spray is suing the Justice Department, claiming that he is permanently injured, disfigured, and sterile after being wrongly injected with massive levels of estrogen and other improper drugs during his time in prison for the 2021 Capitol attack. Quote, "This caused Take," that's his name, is Take, "to develop female breast tissue and leak breast milk." That's what lawyers for Andrew Take, 36, wrote in a complaint filed in federal court September 5th. Quote, "Fellow inmates harassed and assaulted Take, and Take further broke and disfigured his hand while fighting to defend himself."
That's I'm sitting here with this and just like, what? Take, who got hit with an arrest warrant for online solicitation of a minor after being pardoned by President Donald Trump earlier this year, pled guilty in December 2023 to 1 count of assaulting, resisting, or impeding officers using a dangerous weapon in connection to the January 6th attack. Trump granted full and complete and unconditional pardon of Take and his roughly 1,500 fellow rioters early this year after taking office.
Yeah. Now, Take's attorneys claim he was, quote, "diagnosed many years before January 6th, including in 2016, with medical defects of low T." He's got low testosterone. Quote, "The plaintiff suffers from hypogonadism, and his treatment was supposed to be testosterone administered weekly, not monthly. Due to longstanding medical hormonal imbalances, Take needed medical testosterone treatments every 7 days, but medical staff within the D.C. jail and the Bureau of Prisons were openly hostile and deliberately indifferent to Take's medical needs." Maybe it's the new Bureau of Prisons thing that says you can't have gender-affirming care. Maybe that's why.
Is that what that is? Gender-affirming care? Oh, my gosh. According to... Go ahead.
But that's not what he's claiming.
That's not what he's claiming. But according to Take's lawyers, correctional staff wrongly injected him. Now, this is what he's claiming. Wrongly injected him with estrogen rather than testosterone, causing Take to develop female breast tissue and other alleged ailments. Take was never allowed to see the medicine bottles themselves, the complaint says. When Take's blood was finally tested, his testosterone levels were less than 1/10 of normal, document says.
Well, so Take made headlines at the time of his January 6th arrest after he was turned in by a woman he met on Bumble. Remember this? This is this guy.
I definitely remember this story.
There was a badass honeypot scamming for January 6th rioters on Bumble, meeting with them, getting them to admit they were there, and then turning them in. I love this lady.
Yeah.
He was sentenced to 74 months in prison, followed by 36 months of supervised release, in addition to a $2,000 restitution fine. Take was arrested earlier this year in Leon County for 2016 charges of online solicitation of a minor. And this is straight out of that show. What was a show where they would catch you on the internet?
Catch a Predator?
Catch a Predator. Listen to this. Authorities say Take talked on social media with an undercover cop posing as a 15-year-old girl. He allegedly sent multiple explicit text messages and asked to meet up with her, even admitting that he could go to jail if anyone found out what he was doing. Take allegedly went to an address that the undercover provided, and cops arrested him. If convicted of that, he faces a decade in prison. So fuck that guy and his hypergonads. I don't care.
Listen, I don't like to. This is it's a real medical issue, and people do suffer from it. But screw him, and whatever. I hope that he gets all the deformations that he deserves.
If he got the wrong meds in prison for a condition, for a pre-existing condition, then we've been calling for a prison healthcare reform for decades.
Yeah, I just don't have any sympathy for him. He beat me and my coworkers. So, like you said, F him and his hypergonads.
Yeah, it's not correct, but
I know.
it is a real condition. People suffer from it, and you are supposed to get the right healthcare in prison. And if you want the right healthcare in prison, you vote for Democrats. You don't attack the Capitol and beat up Capitol police officers.
Hello, well said, my friend. All right, so
Rudy,
this is I get to talk. I get to break the Rudy news. All right, we got some Rudy news. All right, this is from Huffington Post. Another weird story where everything involving Rudy Giuliani is weird, I guess. I guess him and JD Vance are interchangeable with the weird stuff. So.
Yeah.
All right. So this is from Huffington Post. Rudy Giuliani praised Starbucks amid a recent trend of conservatives seeking to memorialize Charlie Kirk at the cafe by ordering his signature drink under his name. After Kirk's fatal shooting at the Utah Valley University last week, some of Kirk's supporters went online to share photos of their Starbucks order, a Mint Majesty tea with 2 honeys. The conservative podcaster had said he drank like 9 of them a day to keep him from losing his voice.
Okay. Fox News posted about it, and they had an online petition urging Starbucks to memorialize Kirk's legacy by naming the drink after him. This is so stupid. The trend gained even more visibility via a TikTok video of a customer trying to get Starbucks to write Charlie Kirk's name on her cup. This is just a sickness. In the video, the barista tells the customer, they can't do political names. We can't do political names. But it didn't even ask for a name to begin with, so it's going to be $3.75, okay? That's what the barista told the TikTok user who kept asking for Kirk's name to be written on the cup. Just give her the Sharpie and be like, here,
$3.75, please, or get out.
The video gained viral attention, with some viewers mocking the customer, others expressing outrage that the barista wouldn't write the name on the cup. Those outraged included former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, who called Starbucks a Marxist anti-American company.
Starbucks addressed the controversy in a statement this week, saying there are no restrictions on customers using Charlie Kirk's name on their order, and we are following up with our team. Most customers use their own name, and when a customer wants to use a different name, including the name Charlie Kirk, when ordering their drink in our cafe, we aim to respect their preferences. And this is from,
so you want to have a different name.
It's okay. So this is similar to pronouns, but we want to use proper nouns, not pronouns, I guess. This is stupid.
Interesting. Yeah, this is really stupid. Giuliani celebrated Starbucks' statement on a post on Twitter on Wednesday, writing in all caps, Starbucks employees must write Charlie Kirk's name. That post was made the same day that a judge ordered Rudy to pay his ex-defense team $1.36 million during the investigation into his efforts to overturn the 2020 election loss. What's that, you say? Yes, the real Rudy news this week. From the Associated Press, it's another blow to Rudy Giuliani's withered wallet. A judge has ordered the former New York City mayor to pay $1.36 million in legal fees that he racked up during investigations into his efforts to overturn the 2020 election loss for Trump. Judge Arthur Engoron, sound familiar? Made this ruling Tuesday in a lawsuit brought by lawyer Robert Costello and the law firm Davidoff, Hutcher, and Crichton LLP. In granting summary judgment for Costello, summary judgment, this didn't even have to go to trial. He just granted summary judgment for Costello. Engoron rejected Giuliani's claim that he never got any bills for any legal fees. I didn't get any bills. They're hiding in that Joe DiMaggio jersey I couldn't find.
They didn't send me the bill. I don't have to pay.
They didn't send me the bill.
But with interest, Giuliani owes now nearly $1.6 million. He must also pay lawyer costs that Costello and the firm incurred in fighting to recoup his unpaid legal fees, the judge ruled. In recent years, Rudy has filed for bankruptcy, been threatened with jail for failing to pay money owed to his third ex-wife, Judith, and reached an undisclosed settlement to keep his homes and belongings, including Pride's World Series rings, after he was ordered to pay the $148 million to 2 former Georgia election workers he defamed. That's a lot of losses and a lot of money for that loser.
And those 2 election workers are American heroes.
Yes, they are.
Ruby Freeman
and Shay Moss. Absolutely.
Costello and the law firm alleged Giuliani paid them only $214,000, leaving a $1.36 million tab. Giuliani's last payment was $10,000 on September 14th, 2023, about a week after Trump hosted a $100,000 a plate fundraiser for Giuliani at his Bedminster, New Jersey golf club. $100,000 a plate, and he paid $10,000. And if the name Costello sounds familiar, it should. Costello was that asshole that the Trump team called as a witness in the Stormy Daniels hush money trial.
Yes.
Remember him? They called him in an effort to attack the credibility of Michael Cohen. Costello irritated the Judge Merchan, by making comments under his breath and rolling his eyes and calling the whole thing ridiculous. Remember, they were going to like strike his
Yep,
entire
I do
testimony
remember
and pull him
that.
out. And they're
That's
like, that was supposed to help the Trump side. It actually did
hurt them
the
even more.
opposite. So Rudy owes that asshole $1.36 million, 1.6 with interest.
That's a lot of money that I don't believe he has.
No, I don't. Well, he's probably hiding it somewhere. You know, probably gave it to Andrew, gave all his World Series rings to Andrew, and Andrew's sitting there in his stupid blue suit and his weird gums going, I don't have any money.
I don't got no money.
About.
I don't got any money. I'm broke.
I don't have any. And then he's just running around like that guy.
What was the cost for the Starbucks? He just said, just pay your
$3.75.
Just pay your $3.75 and shut up.
Just pay your $1.6 million and shut up.
Shut up. Exactly.
I'll write Charlie Kirk on the
give him the
$3.75
first,
if you want.
Exactly.
Anyway, lots of swearing. Sorry, a lot of F-bombs here in the public episode. That's what you get, you know? You
Every
roll the
now
dice.
and then we
You
might
roll
get
the
it.
dice. We can do this the easy way or the hard way.
The hard way.
You roll the dice.
Right
You
in the
mess with the
car.
bull, you get the horns.
Yeah. Bring back the McRib.
Bring back the McRib. Oh, by the way, I looked into it. It doesn't look like that Disney thing is real. It looks like it was kind of mentioned in a story 3 days ago from a publication called Screen Rant.
Scream. Okay.
So I wouldn't put a lot of stock in there being conditions yet on Jimmy Kimmel's return. There might be, but it probably isn't that, unless that post that I'm referring to came from 3 days ago. But anyway, check your sources.
AG, also about that, we know. Listen, I had the opportunity to meet him once, and obviously, I feel like I know him watching his show. There's no way in hell he turns it down, right? If anything, he turns it up. What do you think?
Yeah, no way. If I'm Jimmy Kimmel and you're coming to me saying, "All right, you can go on, but no more Trump jokes," I'd be like, no, and then there would be a lawsuit, and then I would go on my own independent show and make more money than I ever did at ABC.
And ABC will continue to lose. I saw reports where their stocks are down. I mean, I don't know the exact number.
Disney's down about 2.5 points.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
$1.1 billion.
That's a lot of money. I know
there were some viral things that were going around this weekend saying Jimmy Kimmel has sued and Disney lost $4 billion.
Yeah, I didn't see none of that to be accurate.
That's not accurate. Always check your sources. Everybody just check your sources, especially if something makes you mad or really, really glad. If something makes you emotional,
check it out first.
It's designed to do that.
Yeah.
So just check, because the Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, The Guardian, MSNBC, they've all screwed up.
Yeah.
In the last couple of
Editor's
weeks.
note.
Yeah. Retraction.
One thing, AG, that I think that does not need to be sourced or checked, boycotts work.
Yes.
Boycotts work. I don't need, maybe we need to source the exact number, but it's no question at all that boycotts work. We're seeing it with Target. That's one of the big ones that Target faced hell.
They lost 5% on back to school week. Target lost 5%.
That's insane.
On back to school week.
We're talking about 5%. Like that's a lot of money.
And Costco gained 5%. People ditched Target to go to Costco because Costco respects diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility.
And you know what? Even more outside of that, people don't mind paying because Costco is membership based. So people, not only did they spend the money at Costco, they paid for a membership to spend money there. So listen, boycotts work, and I don't need to do research to see that. So source that.
No, correct. And pushing back works too. You know, when Gavin Newsom was having Steve Bannon and Charlie Kirk on his podcast, everybody said, don't do that. And he stopped.
Yep.
And then
he had to address it. Yep.
Yeah. And he got a real good social media person and has been doing
on fire
really, really
ever
hilarious
since.
things.
Yep, he is.
And in Prop 50, he signed that bill. He signed a bill that prevents outside state doctors and outside state lawmakers from subpoenaing medical records for transgender Californians.
And also, what did he pass about the law enforcement in
wear
masks?
Yeah. So he's, They listen.
They listen.
When
they
you
need
put
to.
Kathy Hochul has endorsed Mamdani.
Yep.
Now I'm still waiting
and
for
that's a
Schumer
long
and
time
Jeffries.
coming, but yeah, we're still waiting on that. Keep pushing.
And he was asked today, Hakeem Jeffries, why hasn't he endorsed Mamdani yet? And pretty much that's the only question he ever gets. But he said, I'm going to be making a decision soon after consulting with the congressional caucus and da-da-da-da. So he will. The longer he waits, though, I think every day that ticks by, people are getting angrier and angrier. Anyway.
Yeah. So
anyway, we'll keep an eye on all of these stories for you, especially the Starbucks Charlie Kirk cups. I mean, that's just and I can't believe it. But I really want to follow the trial of that take a-hole that solicited a 15-year-old.
And he loves women so much he grew breast. Like, Lord have mercy.
It's just interesting. But hey, maybe they gave him the wrong medication, and maybe he should get some restitution for that.
Maybe so.
The Bureau of Prisons is messed up. People are dying in prison all the time.
Yeah.
So I guess it takes one of their own
for them to do something about it, right?
Before they do anything. So, all right, everybody, we'll be back in your ears this weekend for the bonus episode. If you're a patron, we'll see you Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 Eastern, for the bonus happy hour. Again, if you're a patron. Everybody else, we'll see you next week on the public episode. That's our show this week. So thank you for listening to Clean Up on Aisle 45. I'm Allison Gill.
Harry Dunn. Thanks, y'all.
Clean Up on Aisle 45 is written, researched, and produced by Allison Gill, with editing by Molly Hockey. Our art and logo design are by Joelle Reeder and Moxie Design Studios, and our music is composed and performed by Adam Orr. Clean Up on Aisle 45 is a proud member of the MSW Media Network, a collection of creator-owned podcasts dedicated to news, politics, and justice. For more information, visit mswmedia.com. MSW Media.